Okay, you guys ready for another combination cut? All right, let's part her off center a little bit. We're gonna part her to go to the right. I'm gonna section her from right behind the ears. Now this cut works really well for people who have like long faces and they need a lot of texture. Like an oblong face shape goes really well for this. What we're gonna do is up top, we're gonna cut round convex layers. Under the occipital, we're gonna cut a flat layer. And we're gonna also make it a square one length. Well, it's not one length, but a square perimeter. Okay? So step one. And maybe let's cut this with the razor. Now I'm doing it square. Did you see how I still pulled this out to make this square? Okay. Yeah, you probably see me throwing that hair. You kind of like, once you've got the hair in your fingers, razor cuts are precision cuts. You know, you need tension. You need maximum tension for razor cuts. You can't just hold this loosely, okay? Look at that nice square. And see how it's already wanted to flip up? All right, cool. We're getting a nice, pretty shape. Let's just follow with that. I just feel like I save more time by pinching the hair. So I just pinch it and get it out of my way. Because I could. And you know, like you're supposed to really kind of be flicking your wrist or going like this when you, but let me tell you what, you can cut hair however you want. That's the fun beauty about this profession. Okay, see how soft of a nice square edge that is? I don't know if you guys can see how soft and pretty that is. All right, but look, see how we don't have a lot of volume right here? We want to create volume and lift. All right, so that's what we're going to do with our layer, but let's go ahead and finish our perimeter real fast. I think an easy mistake is like cutting too high because you see kind of how fast like I go in, you know, because I've just been doing it for so long. Like when you're pinching the hair, you need to pinch way lower. Like, see, I pinch and like you need to cut way lower than you think you need to, because a common mistake with the pinching is that you get too high and then you have to cut everything way shorter. So by cutting it in your fingers like this, that gives you added protection. So be careful with the pinching, but it is fun. Just takes a little bit of practice. Okay, great. So now we've got this nice square shape and we are going to cut Oh, you know what? I forgot. We're cutting 2. So everything up here, we want that to be round, convex. So let's get that out of our way. All right. Now, all this area, what are we going to do with this? We're going to do flat layers. So we're going to take sections like, what are these called? Vertical sections. Going to pull this straight out. And when I pull this straight out, all right, I can see all this weight. I can see the short hairs that are starting to fall out, all right? See all this long hair? See all the short under here? So I want to cut to that short, okay? So I want this to be a flat layer. So see, when I pull this out, it should be straight, okay? And I'm just going to do this in a square fashion. Meaning I'm not over directing. I'm pulling it straight out from where it lives. But I still have less to cut once I get to those corners, okay? See my short? See how that short falls out? And I've just got a little bit of that weight right there. Just want to take that off. Okay, cool. So then I can just kind of cross check. Make sure this is going straight across. See? Now even if it got maybe a little bit, I can go in and I can, but for the most part, with a razor, it's still a straight line, but it's super soft. It's not a bold line, all right? Super feathered, but it's still straight across line for that square shape, all right? So that's gonna help all of this to really flip up, all right? Now let's get rid of all of its weight on top because it's just gonna fall on top, and what are we gonna do with that, all right? So now we've got a guide to connect to. See how this falls out right here? Let me see if I can turn this. So see how I pull, see these short hairs that fall out? Let's see if I can get in here a little bit better. Let me see. I want a clearer image for you. So are we going to connect it to there? See where we're cutting from? I need something to hold my mannequin in place. There we go. And then I work around the head. And this, I'm doing in a round fashion. So I'm moving my body around. See my guide? Already looking nice. So see, let me see if I can see that guide popping up. And a good way to find that guide, see how I'm using my comb? Depending on what side my guide's on, I'll push the other hairs down so I can find my guide. See, I found my guide down here. Because I'm pulling this out from where it lives. That's what makes it convex. Around the head, right? Since I'm moving it around convex. Do you see where I could have a hole? I'm very mindful. I'm watching that. That's the weakest spot in this haircut right there. When you cut that layer, it's very important to be mindful to not cut a hole there, okay? All right, that is looking really great. We can see that we've got some volume being built up here. We've got that volume kind of being taken out here, but then a build up here, all right? So really cute. You see that? Flat layers here, round convex here. All right, so how are we going to connect the front? Same thing. From the recession where the parietal ridge is, gonna pull this out, see where that drops. Make it a flat layer, pull it straight out. Pull it straight out. Now, sometimes with this cut, you might even end up making it, well, I guess it's not going to be a diamond. A diamond would be round in the front, triangular in the back. But they might want a few more layers around the face to round it off. All right, so we've cut that flat part there on this side. We're gonna lift this up. See how I find my guide? How it's short here. Wants to fall out. That was my guide, so I know where to cut from. And let's do it on this side. All right, pull this straight out. Flat. Pull this straight out. Flat. But now we want to round this on the top. So see, as I begin to lift this, do you see how in my comb, I don't know if you can see because that window behind me, these short hairs, I can already see my guide as I'm combing, okay? So that's how I can do it really fast, is I'm spotting my guide as I'm combing. So I already see it before I even get there. Before my fingers even get to where I'm supposed to stop, I can see my guide as I'm combing. I'm looking for that short spot. As I'm combing this up, I'm looking for that short spot that's going to fall out to find my guide. Now, it's all done. It's a really good shape. You can see this nice flip, all right? What if we do want to have some face frame layers? Because see how this is not connecting to the bang right there? Sometimes, a lot of times, they have a bang with this haircut. So I'll show you how to do that once it's dry. Okay. So this haircut, you see all the layers up here that build body. You can actually see, visually see the flat layers right here, and then see how this builds body on top. Now, you see how there's a little bit less here? You could just visually see, oh look, I think that there's a little bit too much weight there. Go in. See that weight? See the short? Cut that off. See how that connects a little bit better? You also see how you've got this little guy? All right, that's why a lot of times, see this flat layer? You can actually visually see the flat layer right here. All right, but sometimes the corner, when you're doing the flat layer in a square shape, the corner in the front is just a little too heavy, so they want to soften it up. All right, so we might pull this forward. And round it off, just to soften that. Cut off that square corner. Softens it, gives her nice, lots of layers around the face. Okay, so what was this haircut? We had flat layers under the occipital, round convex on top, and then we just kind of went in the front and cut off that corner. Let me do it on the other side. She's really flippy on this side. A little too flippy. Beautiful, beautiful. I also like to use, you can use spray wax, you can use that, what did I use on the Pixie? The Second Day, Unite Second Day. I really like that. Let's do spray wax. I like to give spray wax to my clients because it's easy. You just spray it and then it can kind of piece things out for you. Then they can just kind of go in themselves and say, I want this to be separated. Twirl and twist and separate. This gives a little bit of definition and hold. Flat layer. See the round? Okay, that's that haircut. See you guys later.